Hi, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Spiritual Scientist. I'm Victor. Thanks for checking me out. So I'm driving. I thought I'd do another video to talk to you guys about things. So it just seems so clear to me the other day when I was laying down, I think, or I woke up, and about the levels of consciousness. And what it's like is those Russian dolls, and you have an inner layer and you have a subset within a subset. So basically what I'm saying is, like, you have your own viewpoint, and let's say that's the innermost layer of that Russian doll. So you have that innermost layer, and then you have, other people's viewpoints, and you're on the egocentric layer where you're, seeing things. Then you have, broader perspectives. So as you're broadening your perspective, you're opening up to the other those other layers, those other Russian dolls that are greater than you. So then your awareness will be larger, so then you see things a little bit differently. So when people have certain viewpoints that they seem to work with other people's viewpoints, so that would be more of a narrower perspective, because they're at the initial Russian doll, that one in the center, and that's all they're acknowledging, and that's it. And then there's larger viewpoints that have greater awareness of your environment, of what's going on. And when you get out to those larger awarenesses, then you end up seeing things that are maybe that other people don't see, because you have that broader viewpoint. You have the ability to take in disparate information from different sources, and you're processing it differently because you're looking at it from a different perspective. So you could actually say, hey, so a lot of people in the Mandela effect community would see something that's different, and they say, oh, is this? And then everybody seems to have the same differences because their viewpoints are at a larger Russian doll. So then they interface at that larger level, where people have smaller awarenesses, and they just have that slight interface where they're just seeing what they see, and that's it, because that's what you need. So if you listen to scientists, and they'll say, hey, over evolution, over time, we've developed the senses where we only use the senses that are for our survival. So for instance, I have a nose. It's plain on my face, and if I try to look down, it's basically invisible to me, because my brain has censored that input from my visual system. So when I look down, I'm not really seeing my nose, although it's pretty much right in between my eyes. When I look left or right, I don't really see this big thing in the middle of my face. I see, empty space. That's because my mind has adapted, and now I don't see this, big nose in front of my face. Now, if you were just, for instance, a robot, and it wasn't programmed that way, and then you had the same, cameras, and then there's a big nose, they'd say, hey, this is interfering. So it's the same way when things come up in our worldview, and if it's not in that survival ratio where it's not impacted your survival, you literally are blind to the information, and you're blind to seeing and hearing, so you don't see that disparate information out there. And then other people, will sometimes will see that more information because their awareness is at a smaller viewpoint. So I just thought I'd share that information because it's kind of important I think in understanding the way reality works, is that we don't see things unless they're impacting your life. You're not paying attention, you're not aware of it, and then that's it. So you're not looking at it and you don't know about it. It's kind of like these guys that grew up in these villagers. They grew up in the jungle, and they never they're always seeing leaves, they're always seeing trees, they're always seeing animals, so they see certain things. So when they introduced something that was totally square, to these people that lived for hundreds of years, the generations and generations in the jungle, they really couldn't see it, is what they said. They just they didn't have the brain for them, wasn't developed, so they couldn't see those kind of shapes. It was hard for them to perceive it because that didn't work in their survival ratio. So that they actually, and there's a whole study done that they couldn't, when they tested them, they said, gee, they can't see certain shapes. For us, we see them. Now, there's supposedly 1 million different colors of the color green, and for them, they are easily, registering the different shades for different things. For a lot of people that grew up in the city, they're not aware of those things. So they're just like, what are you talking about? There's 1 million different shades of green. So just thought I'd talk to you a little bit about perceiving. And when you meditate and when you rise above yourself in a way, when you meditate and you learn to train your awareness, then you could, see beyond yourself. It's the people that see beyond themselves for instance, charity. I talk about charity a lot. Helping others. So a lot of people only think about themselves. They don't think about, others on a daily basis and how to help others, which is understandable because in your survival ratio of things that you have to deal with on a daily basis, you're not thinking about others. That's why it's such, it's considered, a higher vibration, a higher thoughts to actually help others, so because of your perspective. So if you'd like to give to a charity, I recommend certain ones. Feeding America I like, and Covenant House is a good one, and there's some other ones out there. All right, so you could rise above yourself, and that'd be it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share. I hope this made sense to you. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a great day. Bye-bye.